Monster Integration by N1. Chapter 41 Fighting the Aqua Bulls. To be safe, I again hit its head again with a sword. Some monsters are really vicious, they act dead and attack when one got really close to it. It didn't move when I hit its head with my sword. This pebble snake is treasure, each and every part of it. Aside from its core, its fangs, and petrifying poison had its uses, but the most expensive thing is it a body. The pebble that made of its use as fertilizer, very expensive fertilizer, the fertilizer used for precious plants and herbs. Within 5 minutes, I separated all parts off and put them into my backpack. If I am able to hunt the bull, this trip will be very fruitful and I will be able to earn more than the last trip, but it all depends on Ashlyn. After hiding my backpack, I hit again on my previous, but this time I am more vigilant. I still shudder when I thought about that pebble snake's sneak attack. If that snake had a little bit faster and able to bite, I would have been lying dead and my heart being eaten by it. About time, I whispered when I felt Ashlyn is coming closer. She will arrive in a few minutes. Ashlyn and I can sense each other. It would be nice if I can see what she is seeing, but it not possible private grade, it is only possible at advanced grade. Moo. Moo. I heard loud mooing from the aqua bulls. I told Ashlyn only to lure only one bull, but from the sound seemed like she brought 2 bulls. Ashlyn coming closer and closes rose from my heart, and I waited patiently for her to arrive. As soon as she comes luring those aqua bulls, I'll attack them sneakily at the perfect moment. Chew. Ashlyn comes flying and started shooting toward the direction she came from, an irritating tone. Moo. The bulls moved out. Swoosh. Suddenly a water jet comes out of the tree, trying to hit Ashlyn, but she easily dodged it with a flap of her wings. Moo. Thud. Soon, 3 equal bulls come out of the thicket and started to attack Ashlyn with their water jets. This concentrated water attack is really dangerous. If it hit, I would definitely get injured. Fuck. I cursed inside my mind. I specifically advocated Ashlyn that not to lure more than 2 bulls, and now they are 3. If it had been normal specialist grade monsters, I would handle it easily by circulating third move, but the problem with these aqua bull is that. Thud. A branch of a tree fell. The water jet attack misses Ashlyn and hit the tree branch, that is thick as my thigh. One can imagine what will happen if it touched me. These 3 aqua bulls, white in color and thin layer of water, could be seen covering its whole body. As its name suggests, it is water elemental monster, and that thin water screen on its body is its defensive and healing measure. Its defense is not as strong as earlier searing hog, but its healing capabilities are quite good, because that extremely thin water screen spread all over its body. Whenever it received an injury, that thin water screen will concentrate over the wound and help it heal speedily. Have 2 offensive methods. First are water jet, which it throws from its body, and another one its horns. It is a quite good offense, and if I want to kill 3 of these aqua bulls, it will be quite difficult to kill them. I would have walked away, but I have put up too much time and energy on these bull. If I leave now, I will waste quite a time before I find my next prey, and I didn't even know to find it and kill before the time of leaving. I wanted to kill them at my full power. I started circulating the moves of the exercise. I can circulate till the 3rd move. The pain of 4th one for me is too difficult to handle. Moo. Aqua bulls mooed in anger as Ashlyn kept angering them. I watch the bulls as I wait for the perfect moment while I keep circulating the 3rd movement of the exercise. I would have lightened my sword with my fire, but water elemental monsters tend to have a sensitivity toward heat. I didn't wait for long before the perfect moment came. The aqua bull is only 5-6 steps away from me, and all 3 of their gazes are forward, same as me. This perfect chance for me to attack. Controlling my breathing, I leapt out of my place to attack it. My aim is its skull. Time slowed down. I speedily moved toward it. Sensing my attack, all aqua bulls looked toward me and prepare to attack. Boom. Ashlyn had summoned big fireball and attack when 3 bull mind diverted to me. She took out 1 bull with her fire. It will not disturb me for few seconds, and Ashlyn also can't help me for few seconds as she had just summoned a big fireball. I lightened my sword with fire as I was when I was inches away from the aqua bull. The one I am attacking is only 5 or 6 steps away from, while other 2 bulls 2 or 3 meters away. They won't be able to save their kin from me even if they wanted to. This bull nearly helpless, out of instinct, It moves its head toward me to attack me with its horns, and that is what I was counting on, as it will make killing it even faster. I was experiencing all this at very slow speed. I know I can't make any mistake in this. If I miss, then that's bull's horns will directly pierce my chest, but that won't happen as between us there is still a distance of sword. Sizzle, sound rang out as my fiery sword touched the thin water screen, but it didn't obstruct my sword as it touched its skull and started piercing it inside. Corner of my eye could see Ashlyn trying to summon fireball in front of her, but it is forming very slow. The second bull hand nearly formed water globe in its mouth, and its water jet will hit me at any moment, while the bull that Ashlyn attack also forming water in its mouth, but that attack came a little late than first bull. Poochie, my whole sword entered the skull of the aqua bull and it's lost its shine in its eyes. My problems aren't over yet, their life-threatening attack coming toward me. Chapter 42 Killing the Bulls. I didn't have time to enjoy my victory of killing the aqua bull. I can see a slowly bull falling into the ground. The water jet attack from other bull is also midway in the air. I wanted to dodge that attack, but I can't as my body is moving ever so slowly. I can seem to do anything except for moving my body a little by little. Bang! Thud! Crack! Thud thud. Many things happened, and the second it feels like time sped up. The body of the ball hit the ground and water jet from the bull hit me viciously. I barely able to dodge that attack by my heart, but it squarely hit me on my shoulder, cracking my shoulder bone and giving me searing pain, but this pain is nothing compared to the one I am feeling now while circulating the third movement of the exercise. As the attack landed on my shoulder, I had to take a few steps back to diffuse the force. I am not out of danger yet. The bull that just attacked me is charging toward me with full speed, and second bull also attacked me with a water jet, and Ashlyn hadn't formed her fireball yet. Swish, the second water jet attack left from its mouth, while this time I better conditioned to dodge the attack, but another bull is also coming with its horns toward me. Clank. Thud. I resist aqua bull's horns with my sword, but I had to take a few steps back as the force of attack hard for me to handle. Boom. Moo. I heard, and then a painful cry of bull rang out. It seems then when the second bull was preparing to attack me with another water jet, Ashley hit her fireball on its head, disrupting forming a water jet and blasting it inside its mouth. The blood is dripping from its mouth. The injury is not heavy, but I don't think I able form water jet before some time. Clan clank. I many time tried to attack its skull, but is no use as it easily deflects with its horns, and one bull is not enough. The other bull is also coming toward me with its eyes completely red. I was little surprised seeing this, because I thought taking Ashlyn attack it will angry at her and would disturb me, but I was wrong. That bull directly coming toward me with viciousness and madness in its eyes. Whoosh clank. I dodge one bull charge while countering another bullhorn. These bull are clearly very angry and attacking me in frenzy, each and every attack a bit forceful that diffuse the force. I have to take many steps back. Boom. Ashlyn again attacks with a fireball to some bull, making it angrier. I have been barely able to dodge its. It is good though. Anger will dull its instant, and when I get chance, I will give it a fatal blow. Sizzle slice. Moo, my flaming sword cut across the bull's back, making a sizzling noise and drawing out blood, but this movie hadn't come free. That charging bull's horn left a centimeter deep wound in my back. The bull in a frenzy is very dangerous. They are stupid, but their frenzy makes up for their stupidity as their attack become faster and stronger. The only good thing is that with repetitive attacks, this bull hadn't had a chance of attacking me at water jet, while others got injured in its mouth by Ashley. Clank, my attack got stopped by the bull's horn. I was trying to attack its neck. Whoosh, I again barely dodge another charge of the mad bull. If any of its charge was to hit me, I would be severely injured and only have to run, leaving behind this precious bounty. If this going on, I will not able to finish these bull before the time of leaving. Gritting my teeth, I started to circulate the fourth movement of the exercise. What a pain, such immense pain. These days whenever I circulate the moves exercise, I thought about machines that government and organization have to reduce the pain, and I wonder how much the pain they reduce. Even if they able to reduce 20% of the pain, that would be an immense help to the practitioner who practices the exercise. My power increased even more, and I felt my pressure to decrease a little, but still it too hard to handle two frenzied bull as they attacking so aggressively. Clank. Thud thud, bam. I tried to attack frenzied bull, but just as aiming for his back, it suddenly moved his head and countered my shock. That shock hit me so hard that I am blasted backward and collided with the tree. Boom. Thank God I moved away early or I swede to that bull. Creak. I quickly got out of my shock and swing my flaming sword with all my strength toward the bull's neck. When attacking second ago, its horns hit trees as I dog and its two horns directly skewed into the tree trunk. It will take moments to remove, but it will be enough to kill this aqua bull. This is a very risky move as Ashley just attacked the bull, but it is charging toward me in frenzy. I will surely get injured by it, but it is worth it in exchange for killing this bull. Moo. Sizzle kacha. Bam swish thud. Crack. Many things happened in a single second. First, as my flaming sword touched the neck of the bull, making a sizzling sound. As it cut the neck of bull, more than half charging bull hit me with its head, I barely able to avoid its horns. I flew away from shock, losing the grip on the sword which is still as the bull neck. As I was in midair, the monster attacked me with water jet which directly hit my thigh, and last I slammed to the big tree, breaking several bones of mine. It all happened in seconds. I didn't have a chance to relax as I was unarmed and the bull is coming from me. Good. Ashley again hit at fireball, slowing it momentum and giving me chance to dodge it charge. Without relaxing, I run toward my sword which is in the bull neck. Moo. The bull roared as it charged toward me. I quickly summoned fireballs in both of my hands and threw toward it. It didn't do any damage to him, but it gave me little time to get my sword. I am feeling pain at every step as some of my bones cracked earlier, but I don't have the luxury to think about as I unsteadily run toward my sword. Slink. Clank. Pooh. Just as I remove my sword from the dead bull's neck, I have to counter bull's charge. That shook me and blood vomit out of my mouth. Ashlyn, attack it when it is very close to me. I said to her. She was ready to throw a fireball. Choo choo, she cried out, and fireball in front of her getting bigger and bigger. I am planning a daring move. Many of my bones cracked and I am not on a stage to run around. I have to finish it within one move. The bull is 7-8 meters away from me and started to charge toward me. Not at all depends on Ashlyn timing. The anger could be seen of the bull face as its body is also ridden with the injuries, it breathing out watery mist from its mouth and forming water jet in the mouth, probably do the same thing that it did earlier. First, it will hit me with its head and then with water jets. It come closer and closer, and when it was 1 meter away from did the Ashlyn threw away her fireball. Boom, rang out and scary heat wave released from the fireball. It was the biggest fireball that she has ever created. It is more than double her size. Moo, angry moo rang out as the fireball sopped its momentum. Its mouth also looked bloody. Ashlyn fireball must have disrupted water jet attack. Ah. I screamed and used every ounce of energy of my body to attack it. See attached coming toward it. The bull cried out and moved his horses toward. As its horns and my sword about to touch, I slightly changed the direction of the sword so it could pierce its skull. Seeing it about to madness come into its eyes, and it directly moves its skull towards my sword. Damn. I said, seeing what will it do but powerless to stop it. Poochie boom, as my sword piercing its skull, with last ounce at the energy it created water jet attack and attack it toward my chest before dying. I flew away as water jet squarely landed on my chest with such close distance. Bang. Pooh. Pooh. I landed on the ground squarely and kept vomiting blood with my eyes open. The only good thing is that dangerous monsters will not come seeing the commotion, as this location is at the outskirt of Austin Lake R, and even finding peak private grade monster is difficult. Chapter 43 Leaving. I lay on the ground without moving with my eyes open. Many of my bones were either cracked or broken. The only redeeming factor was that it was not very serious. My body is healing at a very fast rate. In half an hour, all my injuries would nearly be healed, given that I kept circulating the fourth move of Supreme Combat exercise. I didn't stop circulating the exercise after killing all the bulls because I knew once I stopped, I wouldn't reach the fourth move again anytime soon. I somehow managed to sit up and drink the mana potion from my pocket. As during the battle I had used most of my mana and now I was running low. After drinking the mana potion I stand up. I feel pain from every inch of my body as I move, but this pain was nothing compared to the one from the exercise. One thing I am going to do is to buy a healing potion. Last time I didn't buy it because I needed money for something else. But this time I will make sure to buy it before coming outside for hunting again. The bleedings had stopped, but I still kept the bandages wrapped all over the wounds, as the wounds would tear and bleed if I do anything that strains my body. Sometimes, I wonder, if the creator of Supreme Combat Exercise intentionally made one feel immense pain at every circulation so that one can endure any other pain in the world. Emptying useless thoughts, I start to walk towards the carcasses of the aqua bulls. These monsters sure gave me a lot of pain and broken bones, but it's all worth it. The earning from selling 3 bulls make the pain seem a lot less. I started to clean, preserve and pack all important parts of the aqua bulls. Not leaving one part behind. If it was any other region I would have to leave behind a body or 2 behind. Hell, if it was the same location as where I killed those rhinos, I would have left the bodies considering my current condition. Luckily this place is near the outskirts of Austin Lake. It will take me only half an hour of traveling to reach the boundary needed to call the hovercar so I can take all the bodies. Sure, the half an hour with the weights of the corpses will put a lot of pressure on my already exhausted body, but I have bear with it for the money. Aqua bull's meat is one of the most demanded meats in the market. Its beef is very delicious. Ashlyn and I had a taste of it 2 days ago and we loved it. My backpack stuffed to limit, its size was larger than me. I don't think I could lift it. It is a good thing that it had wheels. Somehow I have to manage with the wheels on the way back. I guess I will just have to use more force to pull the backpack. Ski. To make the wheels of backpack roll on the uneven surface, I had to use all my energy to pull the luggage. I hastened my pace watching the sun setting down. The dangerous monsters will begin to roam around at night. Moreover, there is no pattern in danger level at night. As I walked, I remembered the conversation I had with my parents 3 days ago. When my mom called me 5 minutes after she received the delivery of food. They knew immediately after receiving it, that only I could send it to them as we don't have any other relatives. She admonished me for spending excessive money by sending them food. She only stopped when I told her that I got admitted into a good organization with a generous salary. She told me to come home if I got left. I promised to come after the baby is born. While we were in the middle of the conversion, she began to cry, saying how much she missed me. I also had tears in my eyes seeing her cry. This was my first time away from home and I also missed them and our house immensely. Only after talking for another hour, Mother cut the call before forcing me to promise her to call home every week. Even after walking for more than 20 minutes, I didn't get a signal on my holowatch. Sighing, I continued to pull my wheeled backpack as the sky darkened. Boom. Good job, Ashlyn, I said, as she killed the LV2 private monster that came in our way. During normal times I would have killed the monster with one swing of my sword, but now I purely concentrated on pulling my backpack. We came across many low-level monsters on our way, but Ashlyn finished them all with a single fireball. Reviewing today's battle, I came across a major flaw. The silver fire that both Ashlyn and I use lacks the power to harm specialist-grade monsters. It only augments my sword attacks, increasing the force a little, and Ashlyn's fire attacks just irritate them at most. The only way we could make it lethal is to use skills, half skills, or training the flame. But I don't have enough money to buy half skills from the market, so the only option left is to train our fire ability. We both have to increase the concentration of the flames. Currently, all we do is just summon and mold the fire into a ball for attacking. But that's what novices do. Saying that we need to condense our flames is easy, but applying it is a whole another level. To condense a palm-sized flammel to fist-sized or even a thumb size to increase its lethality require training of months to years. Additionally, just training is not enough, one has to have powerful psyche and will to achieve results. I kept pulling my backpack and Ashlyn kept killing the monsters as we progressed our way towards the exit of the forest. Beep. A sound rang out of my holowatch as it received the signal. I immediately let go of the backpack and ordered a cab. 5 minutes later, a hovercar came flying across the horizon and I boarded into it while the robotic arm picked the bag. Chapter 44 Med Pods. Thud, the hover car dropped my backpack and flew away. I looked at as it flew away in the sky. My backpack is twice as large as last time and twice as heavy. I activated its wheels again and pull toward the big Wells building. I can't stop smiling as I pull in my backpack. This hunt had been so good. I have hunted 5 specialist grade monster. The minimum I will get selling them is 100,000 credits. Just when I am thinking how amazing the adventuring life is, I saw a harsh reality in front of. A hover car landed not far from me and 3 people come out it. All 3 of them were bloodied, looked heavily injured, but one man had his arm missing. It clearly looked bandaged. It must be chewed or cut by a monster. They are hurriedly walking toward medical bay, which specially set for the injured adventurers for immediate care. This is the harsh reality of adventuring. One day you're live and kicking, but very next day you might be on stretchers. One has been careful outside not only from monsters but also from fellow humans. That man's arm is gone, but it's not like there are options. Magic and technology are both developed today. He can get prosthetic, which can work perfectly as normal arm, but he has to goodbye to adventuring. There is another option in prosthetic. He can get a grade 1 prosthetic type magical artifact, which would be better than a real armor. He can buy very expensive regeneration potion which could regrow his, but it not possible he could afford it. "How may I help you, sir?" said the clerk as soon as I reached the counter. She looked prettier than the clerk that was here last time. I didn't say anything and start unloading all the monster materials. Soon I unloaded monster parts on the counter, including the monster core. Last time I sold my monster through the exchange center in my apartment building, fearing I will not get a good price at Bazaar, but it was just my misconception. The shops in the Mayasta Bazaar offered the same price as exchange machines. The ray of light soon finished scanning all the monster material. "Sir, the store will offer you 109,000 credits, the clerk said with her usual polite smile. "Okay, I accept," I said and accepted her offer, and next moment the notification rang out on my holowatch. With the money I got today, I have little more than 150,000. I am feeling happy having this much money in my account. I started to walk toward the medical bay as some of my bones were broken. I entered the med bay, flashing my holowatch to door, and walk into one of the pod rooms. There is not much medical personnel here and they only check when there is an emergency. I enter the pod room. The room is small and there is not much except for the big medical pod and hanger for clothes. I swiftly remove my clothes and enter the pod. After flashing my hooch onto it, the pod's door closed, and as I laid inside, soon the whole pod started to fill with viscous green liquid except for my nose and mouth, which has breathing masked on. These are the healing pods which are used to heal normal to semi-fatal injuries. They filled with a healing liquid which could heal injuries. Wounds and broken bones could easily be healed in. We just have spent some time in it. In our town, we only have 2 of these med pods, but there are thousands of them, and to the townspeople, these methods are too expensive to use them. They only used by certain people and only in the emergency. I have spent 4 hours in the healing pod. My surface wounds are healed and bones are set. Still, I have to take a day rest in my apartment to be completely fine. Choo-choo. Ashley called out loudly as she waiting by the pod. She is saying she is feeling very hungry. Soon, little glutton, I said as patted her head. I and Ashlyn got out of the medical bay and walked toward one of the food truck. This time we ordered from a different food truck. I hope to take food from all the food trucks. As our order arrived, we started to dig into the food. After eating some bites, I decided to take a photo and upload to the social media. Ashlyn looks up for the photo. She looked up for the photo with annoying expression, as I was disturbing her from her great hobby of eating. As I posted the photo, it soon got liked and commented. It saw Ron, who commented with silly face emojis. Closing my account, I started to eat again. After we are done eating, I ordered the hover car for our apartment. I had started to feel tired and dozed off a little while I was in the car. As soon as I reached my apartment, I slept on the bed without changing. This is one of the perks of living alone. If I was in my home, Mother would have given me an earful if I ever did that. But many times I hope I were in my home or my parents were here. Some might say I homesick or I am being crybaby, but it is as I am. When I woke up, it's already mid-morning and I am feeling good except for a little sore muscle. My body's healing speed increased even since I've completed the first set of the exercise. I have to take rest today as recommended by MedPod, so I thought, why not read? I haven't read Totem book ever since I found it in the forest, but before that have freshened up myself and get something to eat for me and Ashlyn. Chapter 45 Studying. The Complete Mysterious of Totems by Alexander Copperfield. This is the book that I found in that data storage relic. I haven't had time to read this book ever since I roughly overviewed in the forest. This will be my first time seriously reading it. I started to read it and soon became engrossed in it, as its content is really interesting and the things written here is a treasure trove of knowledge for me. Books first give an introduction about the totems. The first totem is constructed at lieutenant grade, right after one level up to lieutenant grade from master grade. Constructing totem is not a simple thing as it has various conditions attached to. First, there is only one chance in constructing totem, right after one level up to lieutenant grade. If one missed it, then his chance is gone and only will get his next chance when one level up to marshal grade. The second condition is one's mana purity have to over 70%. Without enough mana purity there is no chance of constructing totem. Totems are divided into 3 grades: low grade, medium grade, and high grade. Low grade totems are those who made when mana purity is below 80%. Medium grade totems are made when mana purity is below 90% and high grade totems are made when mana purity is below 100%. When humans first started to make totems, they used inspiration from the monster and used to construct their totems in beast form, and there is another reason to it as well, as it required very few materials to construct. But as time passed, the techniques also advanced and people started to construct more lethal and more efficient totems. In today's age, most of the people construct their totems in weapon forms as they more lethal and easy to use, and most importantly magical artifacts can't compare to the totemic weapons. Currently, I am using grade 1 magical artifact which is my sword, but if I were to use grade 2 artifact, it won't activate in my hand. Even specialist grade won't able to activate grade 2 magical artifacts, only corporal grade and above evolvers can do that. The totemic weapons are completely different. They give major enhancement to their user that magical artifact can't do, and totems take half the energy to operate than the magical artifact. The thing that startles me most in the book is that it says a man can construct 7 totems in total, although to create 7 totems one had to become very powerful evolver. 7 totems. I used to think that man can only construct 2 totems, one at lieutenant grade and other at marshal stage, but I didn't think there would be more totems and higher grades of the revolver. The introduction is an easy part of the books. The next comes the runes which help in the construction of the totem. There are thousands and thousands of runes and every run with different meaning, and the most tiring thing are it takes lot mental energy to read the runes. I thought these runes were like normal world easy to read and write, but I was wrong. As I kept reading, I kept feeling tired. It's like they are leeching off my mental energy. Something came into my mind and I removed the relic storage from my drawer and compared to the relic storage on the web. I clearly saw a distinction between them. The relic storage discs on market are black and copper just like mine, but when I looked relic storage that I found, that copper color looked more of gold and extremely tiny runes carved on it which could not be seen by naked eye. I only saw when I took a photo of it and magnify that photo. This relic storage is really special. It must be used to store some special type of data. I kept studying the book whole day, but I felt like I haven't scratched a surface. To read this book one must have a lot of mental energy. I barely able to keep up till evening. After feeling I've read enough, I closed the window and laid on the bed and shut my eyes for a while. I feeling really drained reading that book, but I found it very interesting. If I hadn't been feeling really tired, I would have read it till night. I had decided to study that book 1 hour a day if I could ever reach the lieutenant grade. Choo-choo. I was just going to shut eye for the few minutes, but I slept for an hour. I only woke up because of Ashlyn's chirp. Good girl, I said as I patted her head as I woke. It's good thing Ashlyn woke me up or I wouldn't have had good sleep in the rest of the night. I order a meal for us. It's still an hour early for us to eat, but seeing Ashlyn feeling hungry, I decided to order the food. It didn't take long to food to arrive. In 10 minutes the drone delivered our food. Choo-choo, Ashley called out as I putting boxes on the table. I smile seeing that. This glutton always will be glutton. I opened the box for her to eat and also opened mine to eat. This monster food is really delicious. No matter how many times you eat, it will always be delicious. As I am eating, I am also browsing the web. In the yesterday fight, I have to face some harsh reality. In this world, power is not enough, it also need good equipment to augment it. If I had armor-type magical artifact yesterday, not many of my bones were broken, or I had shoes-type magical artifacts, lots of my injuries would have been avoidable. The thing is, there are a lot of magical artifacts and potions, so I didn't get succumbed to the fatal injuries or worse, death when I was adventuring outside. Its good thing is I've earned some money while adventuring, so I could afford to buy armor-type magical artifact. The normal grade 1 magical artifacts start from 50,000 credits, and that's only for the lowest grade 1 artifact. The lowest armor grade magical artifact starts from 100,000, and I am currently browsing through them. Chapter 46 Training. There are thousands of different kind of magical artifacts. Some artifacts' price had even reached near million credit, which is also starting price of the grade 2 magical artifacts. I kept browsing for the armor-type magical artifacts. There are hundreds of them and their price had reached up to 500,000 credits. I selected the one which is best for in my current price range. It is one lowest quality in grade 1 magical artifacts, but it has one specialty that attracted me most. The quick activation and deactivation method of it. My private stage mana is not sufficient enough that I constantly kept using armor-type magical artifact, and I have to use it only when the need arises. This armor I can activate in moments. On the outside it looked like light armor Grey West, but as soon as it activated, it would spread all over my body from neck to the feet in 2 seconds. I had cost me 120,000 credits and my shopping isn't over. I've yet to buy a healing potion. I let out a small sigh as I looked at the total bill of shopping. It is 150,300 credits, except for magical artifacts and a healing potion. I also brought 2 mana potions. I had 3 mana potions, but I had used 2 of them in my 2 trips to the outside. I again decide to buy another 2, in case an emergency occurs. I only have 6,000 something in my account, which would last me for a week. After placing an order, I resumed my eating. It will take half an hour for them to make a delivery. I am very eager to see my new artifact, which I brought from my own hard-earned money. Tap tap. I was just putting Ashlyn and my dinner boxes into the trash when tapping sound rang out from the balcony door. When I looked up to see it as a delivery drone that was tapping on my window, I quickly opened the balcony door to take my package from the delivery drone. After closing the balcony door, I took my package to bed and began to open its packaging. There is a big white box inside it. When I opened the box, I find there are 3 glass vials and Grey West. The 3 glass vials, the 2 glass vials are of mana potions and 1 is of healing potions. The armor-type artifact looked like Grey Waste. I took out from the box and wore. It is 3 kilograms in weight, but it felt light as a feather after wearing it. I activated the armor by instilling my mana into 2 and soon it started to cover my body from neck to toe. It just looks like I am wearing a training suit. I move my hands and feet to see if it obstruct any of my movement, but when I move my hands and feet, I didn't feel any obstruction on my movements. I removed the West and put it back in my wardrobe and vials in the drawer. I decided to read the monster encyclopedia before sleeping. I have come across some monsters outside that I can't seem to identify. I was good that they were the low-level monster that I easily able to kill. If they were in specialist grade I would have suffered a little while fighting them. I had read for about 2 or 3 hours before I fell into sleep while reading. When I woke up the next day I was already early morning and I was woken by Ashlyn. I petted her for some time before going to freshen up. From today I decided to concentrate on training mine and Ashlyn. Till now, I felt like we have been using our abilities like newbies. Although we are newbies, I want to train our powers, so it could be lethal in fights. Let's go, Ashlyn. I said to Ashlyn. It took me an hour to get out of my apartment. I had to massage Ashlyn feathers and ate the breakfast before getting out of my apartment. I had already booked the room for me and Ashlyn to train. One had to pay an additional few hundred credits to use the training facility, which is specially designed for training monsters. Soon I reached the floor which is specially designed for monster training. I had already booked the special training room. The training room looks like normal with various targets to shoot, but it is equipped with a high sensor which can track small progress of both human and monster. Ashlyn, summon the fireball and try to confidence that fire. I said to Ashlyn, choo choo. Ashlyn cried out enthusiastically and started to summon a palm-size fireball in front of her. She quickly summons a palm-size silver fireball. Good, now try to condense it. I said. She chirped as if understanding and tried to condense it. Her eyes are full of concentration as she tried to condense that fireball, but there was no change in that fireball. Choo, she chirped and again concentrated. There was no change in its size except for shaking a little. Boom, she threw fire in one of the targets in frustration. Seeing there was not single scratch appear on the target, she became more frustrated. Ashlyn, try again, I said. She started to summon another palm-size fireball. Ashlyn is moody and throws tantrum now and then, but she has one quality in her, that she is diligent. Throwing tantrum or being moody, she has always been diligent. She never gives up in the hallway. She will only back down when her wishes are met. I also summoned silver fireball in my form and tried to condense it. I tried applying pressure on it, but it wouldn't budge a single point. For 20 minutes, I am trying to convince that fireball, but it's no uses. My head and back became wet with all the efforts, but not use. Boom. Ashlyn threw another fireball in her frustration as she was not able to do it. I also diffused the fireball in my palm and decided to look into the web. I would have done before coming here so I wouldn't have wasted this much time. Chapter 47 Swirling Fireball. As I started browsing the web for techniques related to the controlling ability, I was in big shock. There were very few, as most of the people don't work on controlling their abilities, as this work is done by half skills and skills. They just have to move air ability in a certain sequence to use skills, so who will train in controlling their ability, and most of the people earn enough money to buy skills and half skills from the government. I watch many tutorials, but I did not find any technique that helps my confidence and concentrate my power. Most of these techniques on a high level and need a lot of mental energy. I was just closing a tab when I noticed a pay-per-view video. I have already viewed 2 pay-per-view video, but they had not been useful. Sighing, I decided to give this video also try. I pay 50 credits and video started to play. Shit. I said when I looked blue light. The blue light suggested it is water-related power. I had hastily clicked the video without reading it. Well, now that I clicked on it, I may just as well watch. It was the man in his late 20s started to talk about how to make a waterfall more lethal without using any skill. He started to summon a waterfall. The summoned waterfall started to spin slowly, soon the spinning becoming so fast that I can't notice anything except it spinning. It is not easy as it looks. After displaying waterball spinning, he started to give pointers and do and don't while doing it. The technique is pretty good, according to logic. It should able to help me make my fireballs little condensed and lethal. After closing the video, I again go over all the technique he mentions and started to explain Ashlyn via our telepathy. Choo, she cries out in affirmation. With her high, she started to summon her fireball according to instructions. Puff, just as she started to spin her fire, it dissipate with a puff. Without losing her mind on it, she again tried, but second was also failure, so third, fourth and next, but she never stopped. Seeing her trying so hard, I also started summoning my fireball according to the mentioned technique. Puff. Mine also got puffed at first try. I never expected to succeed in my first, and I again summoned the fireball same way. It puffed many times, but after every try, it will last moment more. Yes. I said as I was able to maintain swirl for the 5 seconds. 5 seconds is enough for me to summon a fist-size fireball, but it is very hard to maintain the swirl. To control any ability needs one thing most is mental energy. With enough mental energy one can manipulate his however he wishes, but I don't have that kind of mental energy, only lieutenant grade or above have that kind of energy. The most important thing about this swirling technique is that one has to swirl its core. If the speed of swirling core is enough, it will keep concentrating the power of all fireball into one place, that with make fireball's size will decrease and its lethality will increase. I smiled looking at the fist-size fireball which swirling in my hand for more than 20 seconds. I am feeling extremely tired and my mana is also drained. This is the last fireball that I could summon for the day and first fireball that didn't destabilize. But I am happy. All the puffs and fuss came to an end as this fist-size fireball swirling in my hand, and there is no size of disability. Seeing the fireball is stable, I threw it on the target. Boom. The sound rang out and the lethal score is also projected on the screen. I was shocked seeing its score as it is nearly equal to large fireball, which requires mana than fist-size fireball. The only problem with that fireball is that it didn't hit the target because it's swirling. It slightly changed its course and missed the target. I have to work on that tomorrow. If I am able to swirl the small fireball, then I can do it with the large in few weeks of training. The main challenge has reduced the timing. No monster will wait for me till my fireball is ready. Chirp chirp. Ashlyn called out dejectedly. She had come very close to successfully forming a swirling fireball, but it got puffed just as she was ready to throw it. She had tried harder than me. Me successfully forming a fireball just was a fluke. I don't know if I able form tomorrow without few tries. Don't worry, you will succeed tomorrow, I said as I picked her from the floor and leave the training room with her. I will do better tomorrow, I promised myself. As I am waiting for the elevator to come, a girl came from behind and stood beside me waiting for the elevator. I remember her. She was the same girl which I asked the question about the machine that helps to elevate the pain of the devil's exercise. We looked at each other but didn't talk and waited for the elevator. Soon the elevator came and we both went inside. When the elevator reached my flood and I was getting out, she also came out with me and walked toward the door which is beside mine. Looks like she is my neighbor. I didn't do much when I went to my apartment. I took a quick bath to clean my sweat-filled body and ordered food with the Ashlyn. I thought about reading little but I fell into sleep as soon as I laid on the bed. Beep. I woke up by a message tone from my watch. It was a message from the gym, telling me we will go for training 4 days later. I totally forget about that. I mumble as I get out from the bed. It's already been 8 days. I have already planned on going outside 2 days later. Now I have a whole 4 days for practicing. I should be able to make some small progress on my ability in 4 days. Chapter 48 Results. Jim's message said we will leave in 4 days. In this time, I've solely decided to train on my ability. After freshen up and eating, I leave for the training. Let's start. Ashlyn, I said, as I started to summon the swirling fireball. Choo-choo. Ashlyn cried out enthusiastically and the fire started to materialize in front of her beak. Puff, the fireball in my hand puffed as it was gaining traction. I didn't feel dejected looking at the puffed fireball. I knew that yesterday's attempt in successfully summoning fireball was a fluke, but because of that I understood the process and it will take just little more time. Boom. Ashlyn threw a successfully formed fireball. It is also fist size but it packed the punch of palm size fireball and it also hit the off target just like mine. Choo-choo. Ashlyn gave happy chirp as she successfully formed the swirling fireballs. Very good, Ashlyn, I said as I patted her head. I also keep trying to successfully form the swirling fireball. It didn't take long as I thought. After 1.5 hours of constantly trying, I formed my second successful fireball. And within 4 hours I perfectly got hang of it without failing once just like Ashlyn. Now what I have to do is work on its summoning time and my aim. It takes 16 seconds to successful form but it is not enough if it takes that much time in the fight. My opponent will kill me 2 times over. Because the fireball is swirling, it will change in trajectory little in the air and if the target is far it will miss the target altogether, just like it did with mine and Ashlyn fireballs. We both started to work on the 2 weakness, trying a different approach on the fireball. I started to modify a technique which suits me. Most of them unsurprisingly failed but one did work and it helps me to lessen the time by 2 seconds. Every time you practice something for enough time, you start to develop the rhythm of your own which suits you most. Ashlyn had tried to swirl the palm-size fireball but it puffed as soon as she summoned. I have not tried because I know, to swirl the fireball need more mental energy than fist-size fireball. Ashlyn, do the normal fireballs, I said to her, seeing trying will be worthless. First she did not listen to me but after repeated failures, she again started on the normal fireballs. I practiced till evening. By the time I finished for the day, I already brought down the timing of summoning a fireball to the 12 seconds and my aim is also improved as well. The repeated training with my ability has also improved my control with the ability. Its lethalness has improved 5% to 7% and mana consumption has come down to 10%. If I continue practicing, it will help me a lot now and in the future. I have read that those have extreme control over their abilities. They can make their abilities transformed into fine threads and needles. Time passes on and it is already fourth day. Tomorrow I will go outside with him. So, today I decided to fight Android. I will not use a sword, just my ability, and Ashlyn will also fight with me. I chose Android. It is in monster form and looked similar to Hog species monster. I chose its combat level at LV.1 specialist. If I were using my sword it would be easy for me to defeat it, but with using ability it is hard to say. I will find out when I attack it. Grunt. I commanded the start of the fight. Grunt. It grunted like real hog monster and come to attack me as Ashlyn is in the air. I started to summon fireball as it comes toward me. It comes closer to as I was summoning the fireball, but I dodge its attack. Grunt. It grunted as it missed the attack. I startled because the swirling fireball I was summoning got puffed as my mind diverted for the second. Boom, my mind was diverted but Ashlyn not. She attacked with worries that gave me to dodge its another attack. It is as I expected. In midst of fighting it is very difficult to summon a swirling fireball. I didn't waste time and readily started to summon another fireball. I didn't stop at that. I started to circulate the third movement of the exercise as I was having difficult problem dodging its attacks, but most important reason is to give myself pressure as in real combat. I will be circulating the moves of the supreme combat exercise and I have to have practice of successfully able summon fireball amidst fight and bearing pain of the exercise. The fights go on. In the first 2 hours, I was able to create a single swirling fireball and only kept dodging. The only one attacking is Ashlyn as she is flying. She bore no pressure of fight and continued to rain down fireball after fireball. Many times in the fight, I sensed her enjoying my misery as I kept dodging and wasn't able to attack for a single time. Grunt. It roar as I dodge another it attacks. I have to say this android is a way too similar to the monster. If it was in its silvery form and I hadn't seen its metal parts, I would have thought as a real monster. Yes. I said as I created my first swirling fireball during the fight. I have been feeling really miserable as I haven't able to launch a single attack on it. Boom, rang out as I attack it. It feels really good to attack it, but the sad thing is my attack's damage isn't that strong. Ashlyn has thrown nearly 100 fireballs and its life bar is half empty. I kept attacking it. More than half of my fireballs had diffused without even forming, but still, Ashlyn and I able to beat it together with little more than an hour later. After resting for some 10 minutes we again started to fight as there is a whole day left. We fight total 6 times with monster in the whole day and last 2 fights were able to beat it within an hour and my success rate in summoning fireball had also increased to 78%. When we left the training room at evening, we were both sweat-ridden and extremely tired, but it was worth it. We have made a lot of progress and it will enough for my tomorrow's trip with him. Chapter 49 Sarah. Today is a day when I and Jim will go outside for the hunting. I have made all the preparations and also brought some things which may need in hunting the monsters. Jim had just messaged me that he will meet me in half an hour outside my building. I've already eaten and packed my backpack. I am just waiting half an hour to pass. A half hour passed as I was reading the news. I lifted my backpack and exit my apartment with Ashlyn. I stood outside my apartment building waiting for Jim to come. I was just waiting when I saw Bert come out of building with another young man. He looked similar to Bert, just little older. He must be Robert's elder brother. When Bert's and my eyes met, his facial features became little distorted. A mixture of anger and shame could be seen on his face. He said something to his brother and his brother also looked at me with anger in his eyes and started walking towards me. I can clearly see the complacent expression on Bert's face. I don't know what Bert's problem is. Ever since I beat him, whenever we met outside or in training facilities, he always looked as if he wants to kill me. It was just a little spar. He may have been carried away in the fight by his emotions, but it was still just spar. There is no need to show anger. As they were walking toward me, I just stood there. Even if his brother is powerful enough to beat me, he will not do anything here as we are just outside our apartment building. Sue. A hover car suddenly landed in front, is the sleek black armored type and looked very powerful. It is from Trident, one of the best brands out there and are insanely expensive. They are especially known for their solid defense. Sup, it door opened and Jim's voice rang out from inside the car, get in Michael. We are already late, someone has been grumping being late. Jim said. I walked toward the car without caring as Bert and brother who were stopped on their tracks seeing the car. As I was entering the car, I noticed there is the very beautiful girl sitting him. I already had noticed that there is someone in the car but her view hidden by Jim's. The most striking thing about her is her shoulder-length shiny purple hair. They looked very striking on her. In her lap has cute lynx monster cub that I hadn't seen before. Normally lynx monsters have this fur and black hairs above their ears and they have an aggressive look in their eyes, while this lynx monster cub is a complete furball. Although lynx have thick fur, they are not furball like this one. This is a complete furball. If not for the thick line of hair above it and its padded claws which are lynx known for, I would have thought of it any other lynx monster. This monster has golden/orange fur with purple spots from which purple bolts of lightning could be seen traveling all over it. As I took a seat beside Jim, the door automatically starts. The front part is blocked. I can't see if it is an automatic car or someone is driving away. Michael, this is my girlfriend Sarah. He introduced me to the purple hair girl. Hello. I said. She nodded with a small smile. I am always a little awkward meeting new people. We stayed silent for a while during the ride, but then I noticed we hadn't really planned anything and me completely clueless. Jim, where are we hunting monsters? I asked. As he brought his girlfriend, he must surely have made a plan. The only idiot will invite his girlfriend without a plan. I decided on the outskirt of Mist Valley. There are a lot of initial level specialist grade monster and only 15 minutes away from the signal range, he said enthusiastically. I have to say, he really made a great choice. Mist Valley is also on my list when I choosing on the location for hunting. The reason I had chose Austin Lake because it's less dangerous. Mist Valley is one of the optimum areas for the hunting. It is filled with monsters. It also very good scenic spots, so one can enjoy good scenery while hunting in the valley. It is called Mist Valley because the whole valley filled with light fog all year around, but there is one problem with the valley, that most of the monster are in groups. Most of the people who hunt in the Mist Valley are hunts in groups because of the large amount of monster there. We didn't stop at Mista Bazaar as we have everything we need in our backpack. It will take us about half an hour to reach our location. The ride was silent as everyone doing their thing. I was studying the very detailed map of Mist Valley that Jim had just passed me. It is the most detailed map I've ever seen. The detailed map of Austin Lake that I had brought looked nothing front of it. I tried to memorize the map as I didn't want to project it every minute to see that I am walking in the right direction. The current Jim and the Jim I know 2 weeks ago are completely different. I am really confused as more than I was 2 weeks ago. First time I had seen Jim, when he was fighting rat monsters, he was wearing normal clothes and had only grade 1 sword in his hand. He seemed normal except for his little cultured manners. But today's Jim completely different. He is riding in very expensive and wearing at least 4 magical artifacts, and I can sense little difference in him. I am not confused about the expensive car or magical artifacts as I know his parents are very rich and he lives in Center Ring. What I am confused about, why wasn't he wearing any of his artifacts 2 weeks ago? It was that they took lot space. They are just like normal clothing, just a little heavier, and most importantly any of his parents hadn't come to visit him at the hospital. If my parents had known I was in the hospital, they would have booked ticket to next train no matter how expensive it is. Anyway, it not my business to pry into his affairs, and we are not that great friends, that I ask him about such personal thing. Chapter 50 Razor Teeth Hyenas. The hover car landed in the outskirts of Mist Valley. The 3 of us got out and started to walk toward the valley. We are only going to hunt outskirt of the valley, that is where the most initial level specialist grade monsters roam. Light mist could be seen as we were walking toward the entrance of the mist is very light and unobstructed to eyes. It is also this mist that gave this valley name of Mist Valley. Buzz. My watch vibrated, signaling it had lost the signal. We don't talk much as we walk. Sarah is leading the way and looking at how confidently she is walking. She must be familiar. I can't sense her power level, but I am pretty sure she more powerful than me and Jim both combine. We didn't encounter any powerful monsters on the way. There was some low-level monster who attacked us but soon were cut down by us. It's only been half an hour since we entered the Misty Valley. It really is beautiful as people say. Small streams of crystal-like water could be seen and many monsters drinking from it. It feels serene and peaceful, but it did not long to turn this peaceful environment to dangerous one as long as strong monster shows up. When we were walking past the small stream we heard the sounds of fighting. Sounds seemed to come from far, we can hear it faintly. Sarah and Jim started to walk toward the sound. There seemed to be a lot of monsters fighting, we shouldn't go there, I said. The little power fluctuation I am feeling, these monsters are definitely at specialist grade. Nothing will happen, we are only looking, and if it's dangerous, we could always run, Jim said. Sarah and Jim did not listen to me and kept walking closer to the monsters' fight scene. I really wanted to bolt out of there. From the sound I can tell how dangerous these monsters are. Still, I gritted my teeth and followed behind them. We didn't have to walk that long. In 10 some minutes we reach from where we can see the monsters fighting. Please God, have mercy, I prayed in my mind and started back down from the scene slowly because the monsters that we are seeing are one of the most vicious monsters on the continent. They are razor-teeth hyenas. There are 6 of them, and 2 biggest ones are fighting each other, while 4 are watching the fight. They seem to fight for the domination of the pack or something. Razor-teeth hyenas. These monsters are very dangerous. They are known as razor-teeth hyenas because of their teeth. They are sharp enough to cut through steel as it is cheese. There is no need to think what they will do if any of my body parts come into their teeth. I started to curse this boyfriend-girlfriend pair. Why do they have to be curious? I told them it is very dangerous, but they didn't listen. There are more than 50% chances that I will die here if the hyena monsters notice us. Bam! I paled, my back drenched with sweat because just now when 2 bigger hyenas collided, we got the clear sense of their power. Their state is clearly higher than LV.1 specialist grade, probable they are LV2 specialist grade monsters. We will definitely die if they sense of us. 3 of us are silently retreating from our spot. It is a good thing they hadn't noticed us. If they got the smell of us they will forget their fight and come to kill us as a pack. Shush! A soft whisper of wind come from behind and fly towards the hyena monsters. Fuck! Jim and I cursed as hyena monster stopped fighting as looked toward us. I cursed this fucking wind. If it hadn't blown behind us these hyena monsters wouldn't have noticed us. Our stalemate of eyes lasted for the moment before the pack of hyenas ran toward us. There are very, very few chances of me coming out of this alive, but I wouldn't go down without fighting. I activated my grade 1 armor artifact. It quickly encompasses my whole body from head to toe. I also took out my sword and activated it. I will handle 2 bigger one, the rest is up to you too, said Sarah. This is the first time I have heard Sarah speak. On the whole journey she was silent. Her body started to exclude power. I wasn't surprised when I sensed her power. It is peak of private grade. Sarah is at LV3 of private grade. Her voice is melodies but firm. I hadn't given look to her as all my attention on hyena monsters, but when I look at her whole body donning beautiful purple armor with beautiful runes all over it. Her whole body is cased in armor, not even eyes could be seen. It's called armor but technically is suited. With such tight-fitting suit, every curve of her beautiful body could be seen. The armor is not a single entity but a suit made of a collection of 6 different grade 1 artifact, helmet, armor, shoes, 2 short swords in both of her hands and a light glowing bracelet that is in her right hand. Not only she, but Jim is also wearing the same type of armor, just that he is scarlet red. I wonder why hadn't he wore any part of suit 2 weeks ago when we were fighting in the tunnel. I am so confused right now because I know for that fact that private grade evolved cannot use more 2 grade 1 artifact, but these 2 people using more than 5. Choo choo. Ashlyn also comes out of me. Not only her, Jim's palm-sized black snake and Sarah's furball lynx also had come out. The razor-teeth hyenas already halfway and it will take them a few seconds to come at us. We have already taken our position, at a certain distance from each other. We are far enough that we could not disturb each other in the fight but near enough to reinforce each other if one needs. I lighten my sword with fire, the fire sword little different than before, the fire of the fire sword little condensed, although the change is minute and very hard to see. The hyenas are about 100 meters away from us, the attack will come in seconds. I quickly started to go over all the important characteristics of razor-teeth hyenas, remembering 1 extra point will make difference in life and death. Razor-teeth hyenas are swift, famous for their deceitful attacks. If the enemy is stronger, they will bleed it, by their deceitful attacks slowly before killing it, and they have only one weakness, it's their defense. Chapter 51 Sarah in Danger. They suddenly stopped 20 meters in front of us, looking at us viciously. This monster's bigger than I noticed earlier, just a little smaller than searing hog that I fought in the past. Laugh laugh, this is the scariest part of hyena monsters, their creepy cry, that sound in between laugh and cry. Every time I hear it, all hair of my body stands. Saliva could be seen dripping from their mouth. I have read that some monsters really love to eat human meat than other monsters. Hyenas seemed one of them. Whoosh, they attack. All 6 of them moved towards Sarah to attack. Shit, I said, and just had taken a step to reinforce her that suddenly these hyenas split into 2 groups, each bigger hyena leading the group. Their target is Jim and me. They completely ignored Sarah. I am dead. I thought of seeing 3 hyenas running toward me. These monsters really are deceitful. First, they made us think they were attacking Sarah, seeing that we let our guard a little. Seeing this opportunity, they split in 2 groups, to hunt weaker members of our party. I gripped sword and tried to circulate the 5th move of the exercise. Last time I have circulated till the 4th move, but in today's desperation, I was able to circulate the 5th, although it's extremely painful and I was stepped away from blacking out, I still endured it, in the time of death. Seeing 3 monsters coming toward me, I know there is little chance of me coming alive out of this, but I am holding on that hope to live. Just as they were 2 meters apart from and I lifted my sword to attack, bam, a big purple lightning ball suddenly came out of nowhere and directly hit the head of the big monster. This distracted all 3 monsters from attacking me as their leader got hit. Oh. The lightning ball that attacked the hyena monster leader turned out to Sarah Fluffy Lynx cub, although it only able make some burn mark on it, but it's unbelievable that this cute little lynx monster can do that. Laugh. Hyena monster let out its weird cry and attacked that fluffball lynx, but soon purple lightning covered at the body and it dodged the attack easily. It all looked long, but it happened within seconds. When I took a quick look at the other side, Sarah was fighting the 2nd leader monster and Jim is between 2 hyena monsters. The 2 hyenas that were staring dumb for a second cried out and came to attack. Laugh, laugh. I barely dodged the teeth to the 2 monsters. They are really fast. Without giving me the choice, they attacked me again. I have no option but dodge their attacks. Their agility is so high that they are attacking me from every angle. It is a good thing that I brought the armor. It has been doing a good job protecting against their attacks, and due to my strong body, I will able to bear the extra force that my armor can't handle. Laugh, a mournful cry comes out of the monster. I look toward it, see that Sarah's swords were releasing lightning element skill on the wolf leader. Burned mark appear all over its body. I was shocked seeing that. It hadn't been 2 minutes since the fight started and she already this injured the monster. Even if I was fighting only 1 hyena right now, I wouldn't be able to inflict a regular wound on it. The other monster, who was busy chasing Sarah's lynx monster, quickly gone to his partner's rescue. Slick. Fuck. I cursed as I received an injury just above my ear when I was busy looking at Sarah. It is heavy injury but not fatal. Thank God I was attacked by monster claws, not its teeth. If it were its teeth, it would have easily broken my skull. This is the price I paid for distracting in between fight. I will not repeat this mistake again. Chomp. I barely able to save my ear getting eaten by monsters. I can still feel it breathe by my ear. These monsters are really vicious. In the past 10 minutes I didn't get the single chance of attacking. Instead, I got hit by many times. Because of armor I had been wearing saved me from injuries. I just have to bear the extra force that goes over the limit of armor with the body. It is a good thing I am practicing exercise that has made my body stronger than the others of my level. Using armor had come with a high price. I can only support armor for 2 hours before my mana drained completely. If it's only armor I've been using solely, my mana would have to be supported more than 2 hours, but I am also using my sword artifact, which is lightened with fire. And the thing is, the armor and sword artifacts are running only at their 20% to 25% capability. Only when I level up specialist grade then did I able to use it at its full capability. Currently, I am barely dodging these 2 monsters' attacks. I don't have any choice. I am powerless to do anything as these monsters are too powerful for me to do dodge. I only have one hope, that is Devil's Exercise. I am sure if I am able to circulate to the 7th move, I will have enough power to go offensive on these monsters. I have been trying to circulate the 6th move but pain is so immense that I didn't able to it. Still, I was backing down. I am trying it every second. With enough tries I will be able to endure it. Boom, another one. Ashland Fireball hit the hyena monster but it didn't do any damage except for irritating it and burning it few of its hair. Laugh, it weirdly cried out at Ashland for a moment before again started attacking me. Dap, monster had sneakily attacked my back with me sentencing. It is good we are clearing and there aren't any big trees near or I would have directly collided in it. Using the force of the move, I put some distance between me monsters. It would take them seconds to catch up but it's enough for me to catch my breath and ready myself from them. Laugh. I heard the mournful sound of hyena when I looked up to see. Sarah already had killed one leader and heavily injured another one. I am shocked seeing this. Between hyenas she fighting and hyenas I am fighting are same difference. She even has a greater difference that as she was fighting against LV2 of specialist grade but she still able to finish it while I wasn't able to make a scratch on monsters I am fighting. Even Jim, he also injured the 2 hyenas he fighting, although injuries are light they are still injuries. I felt happy seeing Sarah killing the monster. The more early she finished, the more quickly she will give us assistance killing the monster. Russell. I faintly heard. I got bad feeling hearing this voice. Not soon after 3 big hyenas come out trees, and seeing their kin dead, they both ran towards Sarah to attack her. Chapter 52 Killing Razor Teeth Hyenas. I paled seeing them running at her but I couldn't do anything as I am busy with 2 monsters attacking me. Learning from my past mistake, I didn't look at her more than a moment. I didn't think Sarah is more in danger than us as she was able to finish monster in few minutes while we couldn't injure it. Bloopsie, I barely dodged it but its saliva had fallen in my head wound and started to burn the injured flesh. It feels little painful but nothing compares to the exercise. Its saliva could be dangerous to the people with low defense and vitality but I didn't think it will affect me anyway. I sense little hike in power fluctuation from Jim's direction. It looks like he leveled up the 3rd level of private grade. I felt happy for him but also sad for myself. Jim and I had leveled up to 2nd stage same day 2 weeks ago and now he leveled up but I hadn't sensed any signs of leveling up from the Ashland. In me feeling multiple emotion helps circulate not only 6th but also the 7th movement of the exercise. It hurts like hell and my sword is little shaky in my hand but I gripped it tightly and tried to attack it. But I was wrong. Despite me circulating 2 extra moves, my speed increased a little but they are able to dodge it if I want to harm them. Then I have to circulate minimum 10th round of the exercise. I have to kill these monsters early or I will be in grave danger if more of these monsters come. Swish, they dodge another of my attacks. These hyenas are really swift, any of my attacks didn't land on them, I wasn't even able to cut single hair of their skin. The only thing I can do is dodge their attack and see if any of my attacks luckily strike them. While I was fighting, from the corner of my eyes I saw that all 3 of hyena's monsters that Sarah is fighting are bleeding and very injured. She will soon able to finish. I also looked at him, seeing he also injured the 2 hyena monster he is fighting injured, he would be able to finish the battle in half of the hour. Instead of feeling the happiness that they will reinforce me after they kill the monster they fighting, I felt unwillingness and sad. I don't want to make them look down on me, make them help at every fight if I cannot match their footsteps, then I will be too ashamed to hunt with him next time. I don't want that, my pride won't let me do that. With that in mind, I started to circulate 8 moves of exercise with the help of this emotion and after few tries, I was able to circulate the 8 movements of the exercise. With this, my speed increased a little and it becomes hard for the monsters to hit me but it was hard for me to hit them too. Boom, another one. Ashland Fireball hit a monster, it didn't do anything, just angered and annoyed it a little. Ashland had been throwing more and Fireball ever since she sensed that Jim and his Black Snake is leveled up. She is more competitive than me and seeing that Black Snake leveled up before her, she becomes angry and annoyed. It's also good thing though, in the past 10 minutes her fireball became more frequent, in a fit of anger she had to lessen the time of fire summoning. Bam, suddenly Ashland had lit herself on fire and attacked monster but it also had no effects, I can clearly sense her emotions and know what is she thinking. She had been feeling frustrated from past few days as she hadn't been able to help me against any specialist-grade monsters except for distracting them, and now seeing her fireball even able to distract the monsters, the frustration started to bubble inside her. Because of that bubbling frustration, she had just lightened herself with her silver fire and attacked the monster. "Enough, Ashlyn. Calm down," I said as she was preparing another of that attack. This time she was lucky that monster didn't catch, but it got more annoying and caught her at midair. The monster will eat her in a single bite. Choo-choo. She calmed down, but she didn't stop throwing a fireball at the monster. Slick. My sword's speed increased as I was able to circulate the 9th move, and that is when I was able to enter the monster. It's not even can call an injury, it is just my sword touched me. Seeing there another chance, I quickly circulated the 10th move of the exercise. Bang! I squarely hit my stomach by the monster head, when blacked out for a second due to immense pain, but the shock of hit on my stomach wake me up again. I quickly stabilize myself and save myself from the attack that coming for me. Slice. Yes, I said through my gritted teeth, now this is my time to get on the offensive. Calming myself, I started to circulate the 11th move, and I was able to successfully circulated it, on the price of immense pain. Slice. Laugh. I cried out painfully as my sword hit the monster vital spots. At circulating 11th move, my offense sufficient enough to kill them. Sarah and Jim had only one monster to fight, they should be able to kill monsters in a few minutes. Laugh, laugh, it cried mournfully, and my sword hit its neck. Although the wound is not big enough to kill it directly, the fountain of blood started to come out of it, and soon it will die through excessive bleeding. Seeing pressure lessen as another monster flaying in the ground, I started to attack the remaining one. Laugh, it angrily growled at me, and its attacks become more vicious, but no matter how vicious its attacks had become, I can dodge them easily. Slice. My sword slashed through its back, making a long wound. Feeling pain, it became mad and started to attack me like crazy. Poochie. Seeing chance, I stabbed monster which was flying in the ground. I didn't want any surprise attack from him when it at last moment. Now I can fully concentrate on the fight with a remaining monster. Seeing me killing its minister, it became madder and keep attacking me without Kate for its defense. With such a mad monster, the fight became easier as it wasn't too keen on dodging my moves in its rage. Stab. I stabbed through its eye directly, seeing my chance, effectively killing it in a single move. Thud, it fell on the ground with a thud, and I let go my circulation of exercise as it was being a way too painful. When I looked ahead, I find Sarah and Jim looking at me from the distance. They must have finished their fight some time ago to watch me fight so relaxedly. Chapter 53 Tips. Good kill, Michael, Jim said excitedly. Sarah also has given nod. I gave them smile without saying anything. They both went back to their monsters to process it. I also started to clean and preserve the monster parts. Hyena monster's teeth are also just important, its skin and heart. I went to remove its teeth with carefulness. It can cut my bone with the slightest pressure, that's how sharp they are. After removing all important parts of the monsters, I started to preserve them one by one. It's a good thing that I already brought some special preservation cubes for sensitive materials like hyena teeth. I startled but soon got happy. Ashlyn quickly entered inside me. There's signs of Ashlyn leveling up, and she wanted to do it now. I was about to drink mana potions when Ashlyn stooped me, saying it's not time yet. I am not saddened by hearing this. As long as monster get feeling of leveling up, it will level up in 1 or 2 days. Most of the time monsters level instantaneously when they get the feeling of leveling, just like Jim's black snake had leveled up earlier, but in some cases, it takes time to level up after feeling rose up. I finished cutting and preserving monster parts within 10 minutes. I looked back to see if Jim and Sarah finished or not, but what I saw is shocked me to the core. I am shocked because I saw Sarah putting one after another monster parts in her backpack, but there is no change occurring in the bag. She already filled half of the monster materials of 4 monsters in the bag, but there is no change in the size of it. Marsupial pouch, commonly known as space bags. These bags are made of special monster material which can store more than its size. Some monsters have a marsupial pouch to store newborn cubs, or some monsters have special stomach organ where they can eat a month of meal in a single day, but there will be no change in their stomachs. This type of monster material used to manufacture space bags. After making them into space bags, their capacity again increases. The marsupial monsters are extremely rare and some are hunted to extinction for their organ. I have heard that powerful organizations have facilities where they bred marsupial monsters for their parts. Anyway, the fact is marsupial bags are extremely rare and their minimum price is 50 million credits, and in an auction, their price goes extremely higher. To Sarah and Jim have one, their families must be super rich. I opened the map on my HoloWatch and started to study it. I can feel Sarah has a psych targeted on me. If I can make the slightest movement toward her or him, she will attack me. I have heard many stories where hunting partners injure or even kill each other for special herb or expensive monster of some few 100,000 credits, and I seeing thing of millions of credits. Anyone hearts move for such price. Even mine had moved for a moment, but I swiftly controlled my mind and started to study map to distract my mind from the thoughts space bags. I got one more surprise in this fight, that my mana purity had reached 64.9%, only 0.1% away from standard mana purity. After my purity reached the standard 65%, I and other people in the world will have no difference. After 65% mana purity, all would depend on your efforts. Because only one can get maximum 65% mana purity with the talent they get from their monster. To increase purity further, they have depended on their refinement engine and efforts. For past week, I have been operating my mana refinement engine from the moment I woke up to the moment I sleep. In that time I haven't refining my mana for the second, not when I am practicing, not when I fighting. I didn't even stop earlier when I was nearly death's door and feeling like my head would explode. It will all worth it when I reach the standard mana purity later this day. This refinement engine is really miraculous to able to that. I only half believed it when I read, but I took a leap of faith and constructed this refinement engine. After reaching standard mana purity, the refinement of further mana refinement became many times hard. The purer the mana is, the more efforts it will take to further purify it. You are practicing supreme combat exercise, right? I heard a melodious voice, UNN. I startled hearing Sarah's voice. I got quite startled when I heard Sarah is speaking to me. This is the first time I heard Sarah speak to personally. I thought Sarah didn't like me for some reason, as she didn't talk to me when I first greeted, and after entering the forest, I tried to make small talk with her but she didn't reply. I was surprised at such cold treatment. Even my worst classmate and bully Kevin used to reply whenever I talked to him. I didn't take it hard. I remember before leaving my mother said some people will look down on you for whatever reason and prejudices their mind make because of their narrow-mindedness. I didn't have to take it at heart. It's their loss for not talking to you. There were some complicated emotions when my mother said this to me. She must have suffered her fair share of prejudices in her life. Yes, I am practicing it, I said. I didn't want to answer her question, but seeing many favors Jim has done for me and her monster had saved my life earlier, I answered it. Which set are you? She asked again. Jim had already finished putting monster material in the bag. He didn't stop his girlfriend asking this question, but his eyes look hopeful for an answer. Although I know him for a very short time, I know he had a good heart. He only had one bad habit, that being nosy. 9th circulation of the second set, I answered. SSS that far, it is even higher than Sarah and she is using Maki. He stopped mid-sentence when he finds Sarah looking at him angrily. Seeing you, I also tried and only able to reach the 7th circulation of the first cycle. It damn painful even using machine. Michael, you have to give me some tips, Jim said excitedly. Enough talking. We have wasted enough time here, let's go. Sarah said and started walking. We also followed behind her. Chapter 54 Stone Gorillas. We started to follow behind Sarah. It is a little awkward for me as my backpack had gotten big and every now and then it will make a sound whenever it touched some brambles or twigs. As we were walking, Michael slowed down his step and put some distance between Sarah and us. Michael, give me some tips? Michael asked whisper. I thought he won't able to control himself and will ask, but I hadn't expected him to ask within 10 minutes after his girlfriend admonished him. Why do you need it? I asked teasingly. I just wanted to have fun at his expense. Have you seen her fight? Every time we spar she beat the hell out of me. I just wanted to strong enough not to take a beating from her anymore, he said with a sad face while looking at Sarah. I just want to pity him but I can't, to get beaten by such beautiful girlfriend, I will ready any time to get beaten. There is no trick, you just have to circulate its moves whenever you fight, I said. He struck dumb when he heard saying that. If you practicing using the machine, try to refine your mana while circulating the exercise. It will be painful at first but you will learn to endure it and this method will give you immense benefits, I said. He looked little confused when he heard it. Isn't it become even more painful, if I refine my mana and circulate the exercise at the same time? He asked. He really sounded like he didn't believe me. It will feel like your head is going to explode and some of the veins of head might pop out but this will distract you from the pain you're feeling all over your body if you are able to endure it. It will be really helpful to you, I said. He still looked confused but he nodded. I think he will try it when he returned to the city. I have one question. Were you circulating exercise while fighting earlier? He asked. Yes, I was able to reach 9th circulation earlier, I said. I didn't mention that I was refining my mana also and still doing it now. If he hears that, he might fall unconscious due to shock. He just nodded when he heard this. We whispered talk as Sarah leading the way. Suddenly Sarah stopped and looked angrily at us. What are you two doing walking so slowly? Get ready. There are monsters ahead, she whispers shouted at us. We silently followed her as she leads the way towards the monsters. We followed her silently and soon, we reached the place where the monsters were. Stone gorillas, there are 4 of them and all of them at LV1 of the specialist grade. I started to go over information of stone gorillas in my mind. Stone gorillas have a layer of stone defense on them. They are a defense-oriented monster but their offense is also strong. One punch of it will easily break my bones. It likes to throw punches and they are very fast. There is a simple way to kill it, dodge from its punches and keep injuring it till it drops dead due to excessive bleeding. It is very hard to attack its vital spots as there is an extra layer of stone protecting it. I'll take 2, you both handle 2, she said. We nodded in affirmation. I silently put my backpack in the clearing and followed behind them to attack the monsters. Hoot! Thump thump thump. Seeing us coming toward them they started to scream and started thumping their chest. Gorillas are a very territorial monster. Whenever someone had come into their territory, they think a challenge to their authority and attack at first chance I got. I have over 60% mana left in me. It should be enough to handle these gorillas. I can drink a mana potion if my mana got low. Choo choo. Ashley wanted to come out but I stopped her, her fire not going to work on it and instead irritate and seeing how smart gorilla monsters are they may run away seeing more of our numbers that are Y3 have opted to keep our monsters inside us. We will have to finish this fight early if these monsters saw fighting is fatal to them they will run away. These gorilla monsters are rather smart, they ran away whenever they see their opponent is too strong. I circulated the 8th move of the exercise. I tried the 9th move but it is too painful to do that. Whoosh! Slice! I dodge its attack and attack it with my sword. A clear would be seen in its chest. I didn't stop there and keep attacking it. I know Sarah will finish her fight early and seeing their comrades dead this monster will surely try to run. I have to at least seriously injure it before that. Hoot! It screamed as I keep attacking it. It tried to attack me with its punches but I dodged them. One thing I have to say, I felt fear whenever these punches passed by ears. If any of them were to hit my head I will be fatally injured. Death also will be not out of question. Slice slice slice, my sword kept injuring with every move. The injuries may not seem bigger but when they well up, they will prove disastrous to the monster. Whoosh! SSSS. I sucked a deep breath as the gorilla's punch just passed by my head. It just nailed with away. Some of my hair also get touched by it. I have to be careful. With a little mistake on my part my head would explode like a watermelon. Thud. I know what sound that is without looking. Sarah had finished killing her first monster. Hoot hoot! A mournful cry rang out of the other monster that was fighting Sarah and all 3 remaining monsters started to run. Slick, it's good that I already attacking the monster at my full power at the beginning. Its body already had riddled with injuries at 10 some sort it will be dead. Slice slice slice. I attacked it back at it ran. It tried to fend off my attacks but it no used. Its speed started to decrease as it is bleeding all over its body. Thud. Hoot! It felled as I cut at feet's nerves. Slice. I attack it from a certain distance. Dying monster is the most dangerous monster and I totally understand that. Soon it stopped moving. I attack it few times before feeling sure that it's dead. I started to cut it and preserve it. It is very dangerous and being alone would be very dangerous. After preserving all its parts, I removed the special bag from my pocket and started to fill its monster parts. I brought it just for emergencies as sometimes I put my backpack away for being heavy. After putting all monster parts in the bag I started to walk toward the original fighting scene to meet Jim and Sarah. Chapter 55 LV3. Sarah and Jim were already dissecting monsters when I reached the place where we fought. Looks like you killed it, Jim said looking at the big bag that I am carrying. I nodded and walked toward my backpack. I opened my backpack and started to place all monster parts inside it from the temporary bag. The backpack is nearly all reached its capacity. If we knew monster, I have to put them into the temporary bag. It's now early afternoon, we can easily hunt monsters one time before leaving. Seeing my mana is below 15% I decided to drink a mana potion. With drinking this I have only 2 mana potions left. If not for an emergency, I don't like to drink mana potion as each one cost nearly 5,000 credits. Let's go Michael, said Jim. I nodded and walked behind him. It has become very difficult to walk with due to the size of my backpack. I have to circulate till 4th move of exercise to comfortably walk with my backpack as it has become too heavy. As Sarah leading the way, I don't have to worry about not finding enough monsters to hunt. She looked very familiar with this area. Sarah stopped suddenly and made some hand signs. Understanding them we quietly retreated and changed the direction. The hand sign she made earlier means dangerous monsters ahead that we can beat and retreat would be the best option for us. We had already run into 3 such lairs but Sarah warned us early and we able to change our direction. Get down and hide, Sarah said out of sudden. Seeing her pale pace, I can say that the situation is very dangerous. I quickly threw my backpack and hide in the bushes near me. Although it has some thorns I didn't care and hide deep inside. The whole had suddenly became dead silence. Not chirp or roar of the monster could be heard. It's like all the monsters had hidden in their lairs out of fear. Caw caw caw. Just as I heard this sound, I know the reason for the dead silence. It is wind crows. They have class 3 strain. They could maximum level up to the corporal stage but that's not most fearful about, the morphle in their quantity. The smallest group of them had 5,000 monsters. With this quality they could even threaten some lieutenant grade monsters. Wind crows are very vengeful. If you kill one of them, the whole group will attack you. That is why whenever one hears this caw, monster or human, their first instinct would be hidden. Caw caw caw. Sky blanketed dark as wind crow started to pass over our head. I with from little gaps of brambles as they pass over. The scene is really fearful. If anyone of crow notices us and attack, all it is group will follow and that would be certain death. I didn't even dare to breathe as the wind crows flew over us. It took them only 2 minutes to pass us by but we strictly stayed 10 minutes hidden out of cautions. They are gone, it's safe to come. Sarah's voice sounded. I come out from the bramble while removing thorns from my head and clothes. We didn't waste time on dilly-dallying and started to look for the monster to hunt and it didn't take Sarah long to find another group of monsters to hunt. We started to attack the monster group and finished them within little more than 1 hour. Jim and I killed 2 each while Sarah killed 3. Jim and Sarah's space bags had reached the limit and they have to use their backpacks to store monster material. My backpack also had reached the limit earlier. I have to use the temporary bags to store the material. Jim offered to put some of my monster material in his backpack but I declined but now I regretting declining Jim's kind offer. I have backbeat on my back and 2 temporary bags in my both hands. If any monster to attack me, I have to depend on the Ashlyn as she comfortably sitting on my backpack. We are walking toward the exit and only half hour is remaining to sunset but is no a problem as we will exit in 15 minutes and easily call hover car. Good. I exclaimed in my mind. My mana had finally reached the 65% purity. From now on there will be no difference between those with talent and me in mana purity. Now the real difficulty starts as it will be many times difficult to purify mana. Beep, finally sounded. The signal had returned and I can now call, however. Thud. I put 3 of my bags on the and flex my muscle. They were feeling sore. I was about call hover car but Michael stopped me saying that he can lift everything. Soon Jim's hover car came and its robotic arm had expertly lifted bag of all three of us. Jim had dropped me off at Mayasta Bazaar at my request. I thought they were also going to sell their monster materials at Mayasta Bazaar but he said he has the use of them. He offers to wait for me while I sell all my material but I declined to say I had business in the bazaar. He left with Sarah saying he will call me later about our next trip. The store will offer you 140,000 sirs, said male clerk. I accepted the offer and instantly money had transferred to my account. Ashlyn and I ate in one of the food truck and left for our apartment after we finished eating. Today was the most productive hunting I've ever had. I killed 5 specialist monsters but that had made me so tired that I just want to sleep. Click. I opened my apartment door and went in. I made myself take a bath before sleeping as my body smelling very bad and I don't want to wake next day smelling the smell. After bathing, I am about to get ready for sleep when I remembered something. Ashlyn, come here. I called Ashlyn as I removed a small piece of core from the tower. I forget to feed it to Ashlyn in the morning and she didn't remind as she didn't like the taste of it. Eat this, I said, putting clipped nail-size monster core part in her mouth. She didn't resist because she knew there will be no delicious tomorrow if she didn't eat it. Good night, Ashlyn, I said, laid on the bed to sleep. I had just lightly fallen asleep when Ashlyn suddenly entered inside me and started leveling up. She is leveling up. This thought woke me afresh and I quickly downed a mana potion as I will need mana while leveling up. Chapter 57, Leveling Up. I could feel the changes occurring in my body as I leveling up, each and every pore of my body brimming with mana. This is the first time I am experiencing leveling up in my full concentration. Last time when I was leveling up I was in the midst of combat and had no time to check on my body, but this time I am experiencing all. The mana in my central storage had continued decreasing at visible speed. It is good that I had mana potion in hand. This process feels good but not as good as creating a seal in a supreme combat exercise. That feeling is wonderful, nothing could compare it. Leveling up feels like mana flowing in every pore of my body and enhancing every virtue of my body, but creating a seal of supreme combat exercise is all about physical. The feeling one got from it really wonderful. Choo choo. Ashlyn come out of me chirping happily. I am also elated as I also felt my power increased. From now on I could easily kill any LV1 specialist grade monsters. Killing normal mid-level specialist grade monster wouldn't be a problem, but slightly powerful mid-specialist grade monster come, I will have no choice but run. In center ring. I am feeling really happy today. After so much material I've collected today, I will able to pay back at least $500,000 to $1 million back to my parents. I wouldn't be thing huge debt if I hadn't sneaked into my father's lab and accidentally broke that instrument. To all the things I've owned is loaned from my parents. No matter genius I am in alchemy, it will take me years to pay off that loan. Who told me to broke that 100 million credit synthesizer in my father's lab? Taking a long sigh, I went back to the making potions. After exchanging some monster material, I got all the herbs and other things I needed for making potions. It should be able last me for 2 weeks. I feel little gleeful on the thought of paying back my father, as little as they may be. I had promised myself that I will pay my debt within 3 years. Click. I just had taken a bath to remove the smell of the lab and about to sleep. A beautiful purple hair girl came in with a seductive smile on her face. She is wearing a loose red slip dress which clearly shows off her assets. Gulp. I gulp as saw her coming toward me. Seeing her smile I know trouble is coming, but so blessing. I know that smile too well. She now looked completely different from the morning Sarah who was cold and serious. That was just her facade for Michael as she had her reservation about him, but the Sarah in front of me real Sarah, unbridled and free. Sarah and I are childhood friends, we both like each other since we were teens. It's been more than a year we are a relationship. Sarah, why are you here? I asked as it's already past midnight. I just miss you, she said and come near me as to hug me. I can smell her enchanting perfume as she comes closer to me. She crossed her arms around my neck and just looked at me. Sarah, what do you want? I asked with a straight face. I am not going to show weakness. Once I showed weakness, she will get upper hand. She always does this, whenever she wants something from me. Since childhood, she first set a trap for me with whatever thing I want and then fell into it before making her demand. And in past 1 year, it has become even worse. As a hormonal teenager, the one thing I want most is her, and she has been using that very well. "Why, can't I come to meet you because I missed you?" she said in blaming tone. Her face also looks so sad that one just wants to hold her and comfort her. If not for her knowing her too well, I would have thought she is really sad and comforted her, but I know all these is acting. She is a really good actor. "No, you won't," I said. Hearing straight answer, she went back into her seductive face. "Well, you are right. I do want to know something, but before that," she said, and suddenly kissed me. Rejecting her kiss didn't come into my mind. Only an idiot would reject such offer, and she is kissing me on her own. I plan to enjoy her and will think about what she wanted later. I am in cloud 9 as we kissed. It feels enchanting and invigorating, feels like I am heaven, and when she adds little found her in the mix, I don't have words to describe it how wonderful it feels. We kept kissing. As kisses grew long, so is passion. We had only reached second base in our relationship, and she only let me enjoy her beautiful breast only once. I tried it many after then, but whenever I tried, she halted my advances. Working up my courage, I started to move my hands up from her waist. I didn't do it hastily, learning from past mistakes. I slowly worked my hands toward her breast. I stopped just before reaching her breasts and started kissing Sarah more passionately. Seeing she didn't have any intent options to stop me, I wove me on her breast with great courage. My heart started to beat faster as in doing that. I got stopped many times at this stage. As my hand touched her soft breast, I feel so good that I felt only one time before. Even though there is a layer of clothing between my hands and her breasts, it still feels good. Her breast is still quite good. While in teens, I start to salivate whenever I think about how wonderful her breast will become in a few years. As this thought come to my mind, I become more excited and started to kiss her passionately while my hands were busy fondling her wonderful breasts. I became more daring as passion grew and started to feel unsatisfied with fondling her breast through clothing and wanted to touch the real thing. I slowly moved my hand toward the hem of her dress and about enter inside her dress. That's when she broke the kiss, not letting my hands go any further. Chapter 58 Empath. As our lips separate, a small string of saliva formed between. Seeing this made me more excited that my lips went for her, but she stopped with her hands my chest. Her cheeks are red and I can sense the blazing passion in her emotions, but I know she will stop me if I made further moves despite her being high on emotions. Her seductive smile back on her face, and there is something more in that smile, a meaning of triumph and victory. I again fell into her trap despite knowing it is a trap, and I will do it again. "Sweetie, you got your price, but you haven't paid you for it yet? Tell you what, if you answer a few of my questions, I will not stop you doing what you're doing earlier," Sarah said with a sweet smile. My eyes went wide and my heart started to beat faster when I heard her saying that. She will not me? How many times did I dream about it, in the past few months? To feel her amorous body with my hand without any restriction, how many times had I dreamed about this moment? But I soon came to myself and looked at her. She still has a seductive smile on her face. We were so close that we can feel each other's breaths. "Sweetie, you asked your bumpkin friend for tips, haven't you? Don't you want to share those with your girlfriend?" she said with an innocent smile. Now I understand why she initiated the kiss and even let me do the second base and even promised for more, so this is the reason. If she had asked me before making out, I would have rejected, but now I had made out with her and my emotions are raging. She knew I will answer any of her questions with such enchanting offer she had made. We both made a pact with our monster about a month ago, and Sarah started practicing supreme combat exercise from the next hour, as all the elites of big organizations do. Within 20 days she had created her first seal, leaving behind all elites of other organizations, but as she started second set of the exercise, she can't seem to go further in the first move of the second set of the exercise, even using machines and various potions that elevates more than half of the pain. Well, she is already quite ahead of her peers, but she shows she is nothing close to those on the mainland, and that's vexing her for the past week. And today she met Michael, who she treated like nobody, is way ahead of her, and he hadn't used machines or any potions, who left her behind while using less time than her. Her pride is taken a blow seeing that. She wanted to ask Michael for tips, but her pride wouldn't let her do that, as she always thought and still think that she is above free adventures. I also in dilemma to tell her or not. Michael did trust me greatly, giving me his precious tips. I don't want to betray his trust like that. Don't fret over it. If it hadn't been for you, he wouldn't be alive today, said Sarah. What is said right? If it hadn't been for me, he and other in tunnels 2 weeks ago. When an accident happened in the tunnel, seeing the monster horde, I grudgingly asked for my father help with a special communication device that he gave me. West Blood City was fighting the monster from Myasta Forest and had no time or manpower to rescue. The one rescued us were my father and his team. He would have come within an hour to me if not for the brigadier-level monsters he encountered on the way. Thinking this, I felt little less guilty as I was about to tell a Michael secret to Sarah. It's not enough? I said, if I am going to tell her Michael tips and feel guilty about it, then I might as well get more from Sarah for betraying my friend's trust. An irritating expression flashed across Sarah's face as well as in her as she looked at me with her angry eyes, but I didn't bat an eye seeing her angry face. What do you want? She said grudgingly. I smiled as she asked me. She knows me very well, but I also know her very well too. Ever since she comes to know about the mainland, a fire of competition lit inside her that made her compare herself to those at mainland, and she will do almost anything to reach the mainland standard. You will spend every night with me for a week, I said smilingly. If this was for any other thing she would have rejected it without a second thought, but this time is different. She will definitely do this. Hearing this, Sarah's face bloomed into full smile all of a sudden, and I can sense she is really feeling happy. Now I feel my boyfriend has some guts. I thought you would never ask, she said, and suddenly kissed me passionately. I am so stumped by her action that I had responded to her kiss for a few seconds late. Tell me, she said after she broke the kiss. I am still dazed by her actions. Well, he said. I dazedly finished telling her what Michael told me. She stayed silent for a while. I also got stumped when I heard this from Michael. It's quite unbelievable and dangerous to do it in Michael's way. Are you sure he's telling the truth? Sarah asked. Her mind is filled with questions. Your boyfriend is an empath, you know, right? I said to Sarah with a smile. My monster's name is Myriad Dwarf Snake. It brought by parents from the mainland, just like Sarah's thunder short tail. Myriad Dwarf Snake, special monster species. Even in the mainland, there is a dwarf in their name because they never grow or more than palm size. They have average attack power compared to other monsters in the mainland, but the special thing about these is shown in their name, Myriad. Myriad is attached to their name because 1 in every 100 myriad dwarf snakes one is born with special ability except for poison, and are very expensive, especially when they were in eggs. My parents got it as a gift from the organization when he was in the mainland. The organization gave it as a gift. When they check, it didn't develop, and when he came back to West Blood he wanted to sell it as he already brought Wind Shorthair for me, just like Sarah's Thunder Shorthair, but I rejected it and wanted Little Guy instead. Seeing me adamant about it, my parents accepted, but when I made a pact with it, all of us got a very big surprise, as this myriad dwarf snake had a second ability. It's just that it couldn't be seen, and that ability is sense others' emotions that I inherited from it, which made me empath. I can sense others' emotions. I can easily tell which emotions others feeling and one is telling the truth or not. It has limitations though. I can only sense the emotions of those 1 grade higher than me. Above that, my ability didn't work. Only 5 people knew about this, and Sarah is one of them. It is little dangerous but worth trying, said Sarah. After some thinking, I also found it plausible and wanted to try it the next day. Now that serious matters are over, we should enjoy ourselves, said Sarah seductively and pushed me. I fell on my bed, but I don't have time to worry about that as Sarah climbed the top of me and started kissing me in frenzy. The night is one best in my life and will be forever etched in my memories. Chapter 59, Nightblade Style. Choo choo. I woke up by Ashland's pleasant chirp. When I looked at the time, it is already past 9. Yesterday was really fulfilling, especially leveling up. It was really unexpected. I thought it would take 1 or 2 days more, but she just leveled up at night. Choo choo choo. Ashland chirped, saying she is hungry and she wants food right now. I ordered food, both of us, and went for freshening up. Just as I got out from the bathroom, my doorbell rang. I took our food from the drone and we both started to eat. I am also feeling hungry as I also leveled up with her. I have 150,000 credit and it is enough to pay for the first installment of Advanced Combat Styles. I have seen yesterday how Sarah fights. She makes use of her body's every part, her every movement she makes is precise without making any excessive moves. From my point of view, her fighting style is simply perfect. She must be learning advanced fighting style for years to get such mastery on it. Thinking is the time that I also should learn some advanced fighting style, I started to browse the web. There are hundreds of types of advanced combat styles are taught in the city, but finding one that suits me and the one I can afford is very difficult. My searching criteria for the styles which our government certifies at highest grade. Many people regret choosing uncertified courses just because they are cheap and promised guaranteed enhancement in combat. I was astonished when I learned how many people fell for it. Even I might have fallen into it if not for I warned by many people. Well, they did offer their courses 3 times cheaper than certified courses. Any normal man would think, why do I have to pay 3 times more just because it's certified by the government? The minimum price of courses starts from 250,000 credits and highest reach till 1 million, which is enough to buy 2 half skills. There are many specialties of advanced combat styles. Some are good for offense while some are good for defense or speed or agility. Of all these styles, many are used by famous people which are tended to be popular and are most expensive. As I researched these popular styles, I noticed that more 70% focused on the balance of offense and defense, which are suited most of the people, while remaining 25% focused on pure offense or defense and rest 5% focused on the speed, stealth, etc. From my limited experience of fighting, I had clearly understood my weakness. In the fights many times I feel that I haven't used all power of my body, and this feeling further reinforced when the first seal of supreme combat exercise is formed, that I haven't used my body's full potential as there is much left untapped. I wanted to use that untapped potential of my body, and I think the styles which help me increase my speed and agility would be best. It will help to quickly kill the monsters, and if the need arises it would even help me to run from the monster that I can't handle. I started to browse styles for speed and agility, and soon I got results. From those results, I started to select those that I liked, and soon 7 results appeared in front of me. The 7 of them are good and I don't know to choose one, but soon an idea comes to my mind. Why not choose the style whichever class starts first? Nightblade Combat Style. This is the combat style I selected because its new class starts from the day after tomorrow. It is a 6-month course and will cost me about 500,000 credits to learn, but they have a special offer for independent adventures. I have paid 500,000 in 3-month period. Even before leveling up I would have easily able to pay 500,000 in 3 months, but now that I am leveled up I didn't think I would even need a whole month to do that. I immediately signed up class and paid 100,000 credits, and I just have to pay 400,000 credits more. It had taken me more than 4 hours to research and select fighting style. Seeing it's the early afternoon, I quickly wore my practice suit and walked toward the training facility. I am really excited to test my power after leveling up and decided to fight against initial specialist grade evolver. When I reach the training facility there is no empty ring available for me to issue a challenge. Looks like I just have to wait for a little to get a chance to test my power. Some people were watching the fights while others were doing their own training. I spotted some familiar faces but didn't go there to talk to them as I might lose ring if I distracted. All the people that are fighting in the ring, I don't think any of them compare to Sarah and Reynard in point of combat technique. I had fought with Reynard and watched Sarah fight. I can clearly see the distance between them and us. According to me, Sarah hasn't shown her in yesterday's hunting. I think she is much more powerful than she let on yesterday, and if I fought with her, she can finish me off in 10 minutes. She is the best example. Big organizations elite, we normal people can't compare to them. I may be not compared to her now, but I will triumph over her in the future. That's the promise I made to myself. Soon the fight ended in 1 ring. I circulated the move of exercise to gain more speed. If I were second late other people will enter in my stead. But just to enter the ring, I find another boy entered ahead of me. He is a normal looking boy wearing black practice suit. The most distinctive thing about him that 2 practice daggers in his hand. It is very hard to see people who use daggers as most of the people use medium or long reach weapons. Chapter 60 Anderson Training Center. You are not my match, you should leave, said Dagger Boy. I called him as he didn't introduce me his name. I groaned inwardly with annoyance. This dialogue had been very popular in the training facility. Whenever lower-level evolver go against high-level revolver, the high-level evolver most of the time said this dialogue. Even I experienced it in many times. I just smiled and didn't reply to his words. Soon countdown started and we readied our weapons to fight. Fight! Rang out and we both moved toward each other to fight. I did not circulate the move of the exercise as I want to test the power of LV3. Comes out of my mouth seeing my opponent's speed, it really fast, clang sparks flew as our weapons touch. I have to say this dagger's boy's speed is really good. I fended off his daggers with my sword. If not for an increase in my speed after creating a seal, I would have finished in our first bout. I know it's just testing moves of our but these testing moves tell a lot about our combat power. There is no change occur in Dagger Boy's expression as our weapon crossed, clank clank. I take 2 steps back due to the force of the daggers. His dagger sneakily tried to reach toward my neck. I reacted on time and able to fend off that dagger's attack but I had to take few steps back while doing that. We crossed tens of such moves in few minutes but no winner had shown but in these few minutes I got better control over my body. I have been feeling little off balance ever since I started to fight. It's probably because leveling up last night, I had got full control over my body but now exchanging some moves with Dagger Boy, I got full control over my body just as before. Suddenly I felt the light wind on my face when I look at the Dagger Boy I found barely noticeable faint green layer covering his body. Seeing him started using his power, I also started to circulate the third movement of the exercise to counter his power. In this fight, there is no aggression, we both were just fighting for our progress. Fighting this Dagger Boy, I've come to understand that he's amateur as me and probably recently had come to West Blood City. Clank clank. My sword and his dagger touched and drew apart, his attacks becoming faster and faster to keep up with his speed I kept advancing moves of the exercise. Although my opponent is immature in fighting style like me he had a great fighting instinct, she must have hunted lot of monster wherever he comes from. Sup. I barely avoided his dagger. He sped away from his dagger in mid-attack to surprise attack me. I got hit by his moves many times. If I opened my practice suit, I would see a lot of red marks on my both hands as that's where his attacks most concentrated on. Thud thud thud. Seeing him increasing his power again, I also circulated another move of exercise to match his power. I had nearly reached my limit fighting this Dagger Boy and don't think I can last more. He just has to increase his power 2 more times and I will be finished. The fight would have really ended quickly if he knew any combat technique or would have lasted little more if I knew any. Clink clink, my sword had attacked his daggers. I knew that the fight would end soon so I went offensive and started to attack with all my heart. Yesterday after leveling up I thought I would be able to beat most of the initial spatial grade evolvers but really is hard. I think I would be able to beat the dregs of the initial specialist grade. Monster and men are really different. Monsters fight by their instinct while men with their brains. That is why men always triumph over the monster of the same level or level above them despite monster having the advantage of all stats. Sup. You lost, said the Dagger Boy as his one dagger touched my neck. Yes, I've lost. Thank you for the spar. I said and got out of the ring. Just as I got out of rings to limit a girl quickly entered the ring to challenge. The 2 days pass quickly. In the past 2 days I've challenged many specialist grade evolver but only able to beat the 2 them. I beat them because 2 of them was rookie and recently had come to West Blood City to train. Today is the day I will start my advanced combat class. They will teach 2 days a week, 6 hours per day. I am sitting in the hover car with Ashlyn traveling toward the middle ring. That is where the classes were held. It took us half an hour to the middle and 10 minutes from there to reach classes center. I got out of the hover car as I reached my destination. First thing gaze fell giant structure which had Adderson Training Center written in the big bold letter. The building is about 50 stories tall oval structure which seems to exclude strength. Hundreds of people coming and going outside of the building could be seen. Seeing all these people I also entered the building.